Hi, everyone. Welcome to our summer online, summer 2023 online college algebra course. My name is Elton Bowman. I am a graduate student here at Wichita State, and I am going to be your instructor for this online college algebra course. Okay, this video is going to be just a pretty short video where I go over some of the basic expectations you can have for this class, some expectations you can have of me, and some of the expectations I have of you. And so it's really important that you watch all this. There's a lot of very important information in here, and sorry if this is boring, but it's kind of something we have to do in here. Some of the talks in here, I'm not always a fan of giving, but I think they're important to give as well. And the first one, this is the one that I don't always like giving, but I think it's extremely important. And that is an expectation of what it's going to take to pass this course. Okay, I'll go into some more details about the grades and everything here in just a minute. But right up front, I wanted to say that this being a summer course, the workload is going to be very intense for a relatively short period of time. Okay, so for a full semester long course, if you take 1 credit hour, you are expected to work three hours per week for that credit hour. So if you take a 3 credit hour course over an entire semester, which is usually about 16 weeks, you're expected to work about 9 hours per week on that class. Okay, this is a summer course, which means it is only 8 weeks long. It's half that time, and we are packing all of the same amount of information in that we would normally pack into a full semester course. So I want to say up front, this is not like college algebra light. This is a full college algebra course given to you in half the time of a full semester course. Okay, so that normal expectation of 3 hours per credit hour doubles to 6. Okay, um, so if you're expected to work 6 hours per week per credit hour, this is a 3 credit hour course. That means you're expected to work 18 hours per week on this class. Okay. So if you're going to work 5 days a week on this class, which is I would absolutely recommend that you do, you're going to need to work 3.5 hours a day in order to pass this class. Okay. That's kind of the expectation that's given of you. Some will need a little less, some will need a little more, but even the best students, if you're going to do it honestly, you're going to need to work at least a couple hours a day. There's a lot of work to be done here. There's a lot of material to be presented. And I say this somewhat intentionally to intimidate you because I want you to drop this course right now if this is too much for you. Okay. I just want to lay the expectations out up front. I don't want you to waste any money on this. If you think this is too much, then you should drop this course immediately. I don't say that because I want to scare you, because I don't want you to take my class. I say that because I want you to succeed. And I think a lot of people get into math classes over the summer and they get very overwhelmed by how much is actually going on. So this course is designed with the expectation that you're going to work probably 3.5 to 4 hours each day for 5 days a week on math. Okay, if you want to spread it out to working 7 days a week, you can you can do it for about 2.5 hours to 3 hours a day. But either way, that's quite a bit of work. Okay, that's a lot of time spent. And math, unlike other subjects, is something that you have to learn by simply. Well, that's not unlike other subjects. Other subjects have this too, but this is especially true of math. You actually have to do it. It's like learning a foreign language. There's no way to do it other than just to practice it. So really, that's kind of the expectation here. So sorry to start off with kind of a heavy way of introducing the class, but I think it's fair to you to say this up front. I want you to succeed. I want you to do well, and I think part of that is that you have a fair expectation of what is going to be required of you in this class. Okay. If you think it's too much, I would recommend that you drop it now, take it again in the fall or the spring. Okay, having said that, let's get into some details about the class, if I haven't scared you off with that. One of the first things I'll say is just basic contact information. My email is listed here. It's ekbowman@shockers.wichita.edu. You can email me absolutely anytime, and I will typically try to get back to you within about 24 hours, definitely no more than 48 hours. This is with the exception of Sundays. If you email me on, Saturday night at midnight. I'm not going to get back to you probably until Monday. I try to keep Sundays off. But having said that, you can expect that I will respond to you in about 24 hours. Okay, if you haven't heard back from me within 48 hours, assume that I didn't see your email. Okay, I miss emails from time to time. It happens to the best of us. It doesn't mean I didn't. I don't care about you, and I don't value your question or your time or anything. It's possible I just missed the email, and you should send me an email again saying, "Hey, just a reminder, I emailed you about this. Please get back to me." And I will get back to you. I'll make you first priority to get back to you. Okay. Um, Okay, so my office hours are going to be on Mondays and Wednesdays from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And I'm going to be in my office on campus, which is room 306 in Jabara Hall. It's the third floor of Jabara Hall. If you need help finding it, just shoot me an email. I'm happy to help you find it. But I also, since it's an online course, I'm also happy to meet over Zoom as well. I won't have the Zoom link up, but if you want to meet with me during those times, you can email me at 12:10 during that time, and I will hop right on Zoom and meet with you. So I will be absolutely available to you at a moment's notice during those times for sure. Again, I'll be around on campus, so if you need to meet with me for any reason, I can schedule a meeting with you most days out of the week. Okay. Um, yeah. So like I said, in person or over Zoom. The next thing, let's look in the syllabus here. Here's some expectations just about what we're going to be learning over the summer, a basic description of the course. We're going to get to all of that later. Let's see. You don't have to buy and I'll get into the homework stuff here in just a minute, but you don't have to buy a physical copy of the book. You just have to have a code so that you can access our homework program. And I believe it comes with an ebook with that, so you can have that. A physical book is always nice. I think, especially with learning math, I think it's a good thing to have a physical book, but it's not mandated of you. Yeah, here's a little more about contact time. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the grading scale. So I use a pretty standard grading scale. If I adjust it at all at the end of the semester, it will only be to help you. It will not be to hurt you. Having said that, though, I don't typically adjust grades except in pretty exceptional circumstances. And if there's any question in your mind that's an exceptional circumstance, it probably doesn't apply to you. Uh, but so I use a pretty standard scale. 93 to 100 is an A, 92 to 90 is an A minus. With the standard plus minus grading system. Um, and so the one thing I will say up front is you earn the grade that you earn. Okay. I don't, like I said, I don't round grades. I have found that trying to determine that in the past, I think, has just become a little too subjective for my taste. And so I've decided if you earn a grade, that is the grade you earn. Um, so yeah, my advice would be, don't try really hard not to put yourself in the situation where you need me to round you a couple percentage points in order to pass the class. I understand this is difficult, but I think out of fairness to everybody, you earn the grade you earn. Okay. So having said that, um, yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the homework program here real quick. So we use something called Alex. So you may have seen the link that I posted to this. It's in course materials on Blackboard, and that is where you're going to find the link to your homework program. On there, I have also posted something called a financial aid code, and that will basically give you 2 weeks of free access to the course starting now. And when you put that 2 week code in, it'll just give you two free weeks to use it while you get the money together to purchase the code. I'm not exactly sure exactly how much it costs, but I think it's in the neighborhood of $100. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I can find out the information if you need to know, or if you have a hard time finding it. But you will need access to that homework program. Okay, that's absolutely necessary. The homework is going to be worth 20% of your grade. Okay, and it's gonna be every single week. I'm gonna have the homeworks are gonna be due on Sunday nights. And I will say this. I try not to be an absolute stickler about extensions or things like that. I tend to be somewhat flexible with that. But I will say I'm probably going to be a little stricter than I usually am, since this is a summer course. And the reason is it's really important that you don't get behind here. We are moving very quickly, and if you get even a little bit behind, it can be kind of catastrophic. Okay, so I am willing to give exceptions. I know that in the syllabus it says no credit will be given for late assignments. That's just kind of a standard thing I have in there, but I might need to update that. But so if something happens, I'm willing to give a very small exception for things, but do not make a habit of it. I do reserve the right to say no if I feel like it's being abused. So I understand things happen, things pop up, but I will say this though. If I were you, I would try to have the homework done by Friday. That way you don't even have to worry about it over the weekend. You don't have to ask for help Sunday night. Like I said, I don't respond to emails on Sunday typically. So if you need help, I'm not going to be around to help you if you wait till Sunday night. So I would try to get it done before Friday. That way I can try to help you if you have any help, or if you need any help. And yeah, so that's my advice for the homework. Um, so the homework, like I said, is worth 20% of your grade. And at the very beginning, when you first log in, there's like a basic knowledge check that you have to do. It kind of wants to see how much you already know. My advice to you is to take this very seriously. All right. This is going to affect the amount of work you have to do throughout the semester. If you blow through this thing and you just guess on everything, you're going to have a lot more homework to do throughout the semester. If you already know half the material, you just cut your workload effectively in half for the remainder of the semester as far as homework goes. So I would take it seriously. Go in. If you don't know it, don't look up the answer and cheat on it. This is really just to design that. This is really just designed to help the homework program get to know you and how much you already know, so that it can design your homework load appropriately. Okay. Alrighty. So I would take that as soon as possible because we do have homework due this Sunday night, and I don't think you can access the homework until you have taken that knowledge check. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about lectures. Um, the lectures are going to be uploaded. I'm going to upload them 3 to 4 days a week. Okay, and they're going to be by topic. Um, so what that means is like each individual topic that we cover, or I might do two if they're pretty small topics, but or if they go well together. But really, they're going to be by each individual topic. And they're gonna track pretty closely with the homework that you're doing. So I'm gonna try to have everything uploaded hopefully by Thursday at the latest, some earlier in the week. But the idea being so that you'll have plenty of time to look at all the lectures. And if you need any help with anything, maybe those lectures will be of some help. So they're by topic. And they're typically going to be between 5 and 20 minutes in length. Okay, I'll try to keep them under 20. If they're longer than 20, I'll break them up because I know I have a hard time watching math YouTube videos longer than about 20 minutes, and I'm choosing to do math by a profession. So I would definitely not ask that of you to do any more than that. I used to do long lectures where I would do like an hour and a half long lecture, and I realized I didn't like making them. And so if I didn't like making them, surely students didn't like watching them. So I've decided this semester to start doing them by topic, and that way it's easier for you to find if you need help with a particular topic and you want to watch something again. Okay, you're going to be able to find them on Blackboard. I'm going to keep them under course materials, and I'll put a special folder in there. And you should expect some of them to be uploaded later today, maybe early tomorrow at the latest. For today, I want you to just focus on getting that knowledge check done if you can. Okay. It is important that you watch all of the lectures. I'm able to see how many. I'm obviously not going to penalize you if you don't, but I'm able to see how many people watch the lectures, and it kind of amazes me how few people actually watch. This is true for almost all online classes. Engagement in lectures is usually pretty small. Okay, and I will say this though, maybe as a kind of incentive to get you to watch the lectures. Two things. One, you learn math like I said before. Math is like a foreign language. You have to learn it by being immersed in it, by doing a lot of it. So just watching somebody else do math, while it's not nearly as good as you doing it yourself, it can be of significant help just to watch somebody else do it. The other thing I will say too is that I oftentimes give hints about what to expect on exams, quizzes, things like that. Okay, um, so yeah, I would encourage you to watch as many of the lectures as you can. I know there'll be a lot since it's going to be an online course over 8 weeks, but I would encourage you to watch as many of them as you can. The next thing I want to talk about is the exams. Okay, so we have a department final, and we have a midterm that I will write. And the midterm is going to be on Friday, June 30th, and the final is going to be on Friday, July 28th. Both are at 1 o'clock, and they're going to be about a 2 hour long exam, and they're going to be in room 231 of Hubbard Hall. If you need any help finding that, let me know up front. I will say this: attendance is absolutely necessary. If you cannot make it, and I've already talked to a couple of you, and you know who you are, so if I've already approved it, you're good to go. But you will have to provide documentation as to why you are not able to make it, and you will need to find an alternative location to take the test. Okay, and again, if I've already talked to you about it, we have already worked out a situation. It'll be what it is. Okay. Um, but if I haven't talked to you about it, I need you to get with me this week, Friday at the absolute latest. Okay. And I will need documentation, basically stating that you're going to be out of the area, right? I'll need some kind of proof of that. And with that, yeah, since you were prompted when enrolling in this course, you should have been prompted that you were going to have in-person required midterm and final when you first enrolled in this course. If you are absolutely unable to due to work schedule, whatever, I would encourage you to drop the course. Only because it is a complete nightmare trying to find alternative testing arrangements for you and for me, for everybody involved. It ends up being more of a headache than it's worth. So this is an expectation for this class, is that you will be able to come in person for these two test dates. Again, I understand it's an online course. Sometimes there are very extreme circumstances. And if you're able to demonstrate that, I'm willing to work with you. But you have a month notice for the first one, and you have 2 months notice for the second one. So that should be enough time to clear your schedule and be able to make it to those exams. Okay. So yeah, but you'll need. But if it is a serious situation, like I have a student who's in Europe for the summer, for example. Okay, obviously he's not going to come in person for that exam. In that situation, if you get with me, talk to me about that, give me the information, help me understand everything that's going on. We'll work with you. I'm not telling you that there aren't other solutions, but if you are in the area at all, you are expected to be here, except in the most extreme of circumstances. So if you're unable to attend, I need you to get with me as soon as possible on that. Okay. Alrighty. So both the midterm and the final will be comprehensive up to that point. So the midterm will cover everything that we have covered up to that week. Okay. So you can expect basically everything from the first month to be on the midterm, and everything from the whole class to be on the final. Okay. And they're each worth 30% of your grade. So your two tests are basically going to be worth 60% of your overall grade. That's a pretty test heavy grading scheme. I understand that, but given that this is an online class, this is the only way I have to actually evaluate you in a way where I know it's you sitting down taking the exam. But having said that, there are a couple other ways to earn points in here. We're going to have homework, like I've already discussed, for 20% of your grade every week. Frankly, with the homework, I kind of look at that as like an easy A. For the homework, if you're willing to just sit down and do it, there's not a whole lot of reason why it shouldn't get done. The other category we're going to have is online quizzes. My plan as of now, this might be adjusted a little bit, but is to have a timed quiz periodically throughout the semesters. Have a few of them throughout the semester. You'll have a couple of day window to take it, but there'll be some kind of a timed quiz that's worth a few points, kind of help boost your grade a little bit if you need it. And it's the kind of thing that will give you just a check to see where you're at before you show up for the midterm and the final. I'll try to have maybe a couple of those each month, and those combined are going to be worth 20% of your grade. Okay. So with that, I think that's basically all I have here. So sorry if that's boring, all of the standard stuff that we need to talk about here, but I'm actually looking forward to teaching this class this semester. I'd like to meet as many of you as I can. So if you'd like to visit me during office hours, I always like to meet students. especially in these online courses, because I don't get to meet most of you unless you go out of your way to meet me. So I think it's helpful for me if you communicate with me as to questions you have, concerns you have, and yeah. But I will say I do look forward to teaching this semester. And always feel free to reach out to me. I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. And yeah, I guess that'll probably do it for this video. You can expect your first lecture here fairly shortly. But again, just to reiterate, I would go on and do that knowledge check as soon as possible. That way you are good to start on the homework. So again, any questions at all, email me, and yeah, I hope you all have a good day.